Hello, Toad Gang. Welcome to a new episode of Who is Toad God? This is part 3 in the series, and this is a big one. We are completing the cycle and connecting Toad God to Ryoshi, the legendary anonymous dev from Shiba Inu project. Okay, so here's what we know about Toad God. This is a project he's put a lot of time into, spent a lot of money and gas fees to airdrop to the community. He endured many cycles, which probably means bull around 2013, 2017, 2021, and so on. In part 1, we connected him to Satoshi and how base translates from the surname of the true identity of Satoshi. And then part 2, we connected the importance of Louis Hai-Chan and the symbolic nature of Toby. And if you're unfamiliar with Toby on Base Network, the tokenomics are solid. Airdrop 70% to all the major communities on Base Network, 20% for LP, and 10% to be useful in the future. We don't know what that is, but we do know the longer Toby survives, and it will grow stronger. Just like we have seen with Bitcoin, the possibilities are endless, especially with a massively fair launch. No VCs, no calls, no influencers, just like Satoshi's dream. I mean, we're flooded with meme coins, but honestly, what tokens follow Bushido code, the laws of the samurai? Toby stands out among the rest because honestly, Ryoshi might be Toad God. And I know we've heard it all before, but one token stands out for me as a possibility, and that is Suka, which came out in 2022 and deciphered from cryptic messages on the blockchain. It's interesting because it has similar credo as Toby. No taxes, no team wallets, no pre-sales, no VCs. Plus, it had a mythological dragon as its logo. Similar to the lore we have discovered with Toby, Suka redefined meme coins. It's built on layer 1 of ETH. Its tokenomics is focused on stretching the supply across liquidity pairs, similar to Toby's supply shock and Lindia network effects. And then Dejaro Tezuka, Medium blog, announcing that the token sounds very familiar to the word Togod has been speaking. Coincidentally, the main photo lines up with Ryoshi's profile picture, changed to feature Milarepa, a master yogi from 900 years ago. But instead of focusing on the person, Ryoshi Togod is emphasizing that we are Toby. Maybe Ryoshi has learned that propping up a coin on a dev will ultimately lead to failure. Now, there's a lot more information on this if you watch the video in the description below, but the reason for a symbolic change is important. Toby isn't just a toad, it is the money toad, often associated with the Taoist monk Louis Hai-Chan, which I discussed in part 2, is the god of wealth. But I noticed something interesting. Scrolling down into the symbolism, Toby, the three-legged toad, is half of the famous yin-yang symbol. It reads, in Chinese mythology and yin-yang theory, the three-legged toad is a moon symbol and the three-legged crow is a sun symbol. According to ancient tradition, the tripedal toad is the transformed Chang'e's lunar identity deity who stole the elixir of life from her husband and fled to the moon where she was turned into a toad. Well, that is interesting. I wanted to learn more, so I looked at the citation and scoured the internet for a free PDF, but nowhere could I find it. So I was forced to buy it off Amazon, and with 2-day shipping, I was able to scour the pages for any information about this miraculous transformation of Chang'e into a toad. Finally, I got it, and it was such a glorious feeling. I was going to unlock new secrets about toad lore, so I quickly flipped to the page of toads, and of course it was a short one. And what I learned was that Hama, or toad, was just what I expected. The toad is the moon symbol, and the raven is a sun symbol. Later did I learn that a raven and a crow are synonymous. Also, I knew that toads live to a considerable age, and is also the symbol of longevity. And that Chang'e was turned into a toad on the moon, and they were also a cure for boils, and so on and so forth. And they even went on to discuss the ritual of a toad palace, where in tradition all the married folk would gather at the family, and an elder woman would whisper wisdom into their ears before going into the toad palace and consummating the marriage. I mean, awkward. Well, the book didn't have any of the interesting information that I wanted, And the video I posted in the Hypersub was actually much better at telling the lore surrounding Chang'e and the lore of the moon goddess. But nonetheless, despite my infuriation, it was good to do some research. So I went back to the origin of the tangent, and I looked at a little deeper into this yin-yang theory. If the symbolism for Jin-chan, the money toad, is the moon, then what is this three-legged crow? Well, this is an easy task because this is a first time hearing about this, and well, good thing I still have my book. I quickly discovered that the three-legged raven is symbolic as the messenger of the goddess Shi Wangmu. Toby is a symbolic of water, while the crow is symbolic of fire and the sun. Once again, thank you to Sensei for connecting this lead because it is not an easy find. However, a couple years ago, a token was launched connecting a unique protocol to another mysterious dApp. And guess what it was called? Call. After reading the manifesto, I realized it was Bushido as fuck. Call is a decentralized social clearinghouse, and it reads in a similar way in how Togod illustrates the point of decentralization. And reading into the lore surrounding Call got me even more bullish. It originated from the SHIB deployer. Now, I know people can fake it, but not this project. It's Bushido as well. I'm not here to shill this token at the time of writing this. I don't even own it. However, this got me wanting to dig more into the lore of Togod. Because if Togod is Ryoshi, then maybe this community must know more about who Ryoshi is. I mean, the timeline adds up with the Suka launch since it was founded in May 2022. But nonetheless, I went to the Telegram to do some digging, and right when I got there, I noticed they have a lot of channels dedicated to building and researching. I mean, this is a treasure trove. Right when I checked out the general channel, I was greeted with my next tangent. Jack Dorsey is Ryoshi. I don't know why I've never thought about this, but it never became so clear. Jack Dorsey, a major Bitcoin advocate and big-brained programmer who ran Twitter before Elon bought it out. And apparently at the same time he left his project Blue Sky, which was making headline news, which is a competitor to Twitter, a new social media platform. Well, of course, the community would be interested. They believed Jack was Ryoshi and Blue Sky was going to be the platform that Caw protocol would be built on, supposedly. And if Jack left, then Caw has no hero. And of course, he left for mysterious reasons, and immediately started to praise X.com as the freedom platform. I don't know, it kind of gave me the vibes of when Elon left OpenAI and made Gronk, but I digress. Blue Sky was marketed as an open and decentralized standard for social media. And of course, he left probably out of frustration towards influence. I mean, if we look at the origins of the three-legged crow, which is oddly has the same symbolism as Caw, three birds flying. If we look at the symbolism, the gods of creation are carrying these symbols. How does it connect to Jack? Well, Jack isn't just a billionaire. He is a health-conscious billionaire. He does it all. Ice baths, meditation, 7-minute workouts. And this doesn't sound any out of the norm when you read Daily Mail, especially when you compare him to other strange billionaires. Cough, Brian Johnson. But I kept digging because meditation is kind of like a gateway drug into the occult. And after a little digging, I saw Jack is a bit of a regular at meditation retreats. He even had a spell when he was the CEO of Twitter and got fired for doing too much yoga. He was on a quest. Jack isn't just any shaman bro. He did a 10-day silent retreat overseas. I mean, that is some dedication to the arts. But once again, correlation doesn't mean causation, and this is not an easy connection to make, so I dive back into the Caw Telegram and read more. And this was met with a lot of controversy. Who is the hero? Who is Enkaido? Well, we know Enkaido is Japanese. Reading further, I discovered that it is probably a she, and that was one of the original 5 developers on Blue Sky. And well, the hero here is a mystery. Maybe it's Ryoshi, maybe not. Well, the team has announced that they will disappear in a similar fashion as Togod has announced after all the good work is done. And in another text, Kaido said the hero was finishing another job. I wonder if that job was actually Toby. It would surprise me, since these projects are so aligned. So let's revisit Caw and this thread to learn more about the similarities between the hero and Togod. Well, first off, Caw was created 699 days after Toby. No semblance there except for the total supply, which mirrors our secret numbers of 777 with a 666. But here's the kicker. The developers were plugged in because within 48 hours the token was available on Mexi and HTX, which no website, no white paper, barely even identifiable coin, and Kaido ended up being the password to unlock the manifesto after some on-chain sleuthing by the community. And no, this is important because if Toby is entering this expansion phase in Epoch 2, it wouldn't surprise me if the hero is Togod, and it will be listed on a central exchange. But don't tell anyone, because we all know how they can act.
I want to cheat it.
Do the G dance. G dance.
I want to cheat it.
Do the G dance. G dance.
I want to cheat it, but please I...
Well, that was fun. I mean, the 10% reserve will definitely be useful. And I'm not entirely sold on it being entirely for exchanges. I believe there will be a reward system. But then again, I don't even know. And Kaido is still chatting in the Caw Telegram and recently made a statement that X is a cover for Caw. Now this would be a massive statement. And why is Jack leaving Blue Sky to root for X? Well, there's more hints. But first, there was a suspicious white hat hacker that stole the Uniswap liquidity and returned it with a 10% charge. Honestly, that's a great deal for penetration testing. But to be honest, how does that even happen? Togod suffered at least 3 SimSwap attempts that we know of. And this is quite a unique situation. Unless they're a public figure or at least a notable phone number to attempt such a feat. But lastly, the relationship of Caw and Elon is pretty sus, because Elon tweeted serendipitously on the same time as Caw was deployed, with a euphemism as the same as the original logo for Caw. I love you. Why is Jack turning to X, and why is Jack's company Block own a massive amount of Bitcoin? Besides being the umbrella for Square Payments and Cash App, well, we know that Elon wants to make the X the everything app.
I mean, we don't even have an app that's as good as WeChat in China. And like in China, you can like live on WeChat basically. It's like, yeah, everyone's like been there. Like you live on WeChat, you do payments, you do everything. It's like, yeah, it's great. Basically, WeChat's kick ass. And we don't have anything like WeChat outside of China. So I was like, my idea would be like, how about if we just copy WeChat?
What if X became WeChat and was even better? Decentralized at its core, built on a protocol on the blockchain. That's about as good as it gets. I bet Jack wants a piece of that pie. Well, that's been a lot, so let's take a quick little rewind and get back to the story. Toby and Caw are symbolic symbols pointing to each other, and Togod has been building this for a long time. Caw seems to be holding up well for the test of time. Well, honestly, Toby has such a major advantage with massive opportunity for growth and consumer love. I mean, look how cute he is. The lore is there and already has a massive following. Look at the real life-like Toby wearing a hat. Toby is universal and doesn't require any gimmicks. I just want to keep it a secret. I had to share. Remember, this is not financial advice, but a cute toad and the fun lore that surrounds it. Thanks for watching. Stay natty.